All right. Welcome, everyone, to the Serious Angler Podcast, where, as always, our main course for you will be teaching you more about bass fishing. But there are some cases, in cases like today's episode, where we're going to talk a little bit of bassing, but it's going to be a little bit more of tangent or not so serious, if you will. Welcome to the very first and hopefully the first of many Champions Roast. And so, therefore, we are getting on the champ, Mr. Easton Fothergill, for a champions roast, inviting some of his buddies, family members, competitors to come on and have a little fun, talk some stories about Easton that may or may not be a little embarrassing, things like that, and obviously give him his well-deserved congratulations. And so it's going to be a fun freaking episode for you guys. So make sure you stay tuned. There's a little bit of technical difficulty in this one, but just stick with us. It's just like a couple seconds here and there with service, but we get it all figured out, and it's well worth your time. It's a fun one because you see a little bit different side of Easton than you've seen on some other shows, and being bombarded with all of the shows and things. We took our time with letting Easton calm down a little bit, from the craziness, and try to have a little bit different of a show. And so we'll be having him back on here down the road to talk more fishing specific stuff, as well as some of the guests that we have as a surprise for Easton on this show. We'll be getting them on to talk fishing too. But this was a really cool one, and one that I really hope turns into something that we can do for the years coming as a really cool celebration, if you will, of our champions. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. But before we get into today's episode, as always, we got to talk about a little bit of buzz around the industry. And so our business from the bass boat, which is always presented by the fine folks over at Rec Lending. You guys currently own or are looking to own a bass boat or RV, they are the best to figure out how you can best afford that boat and do it the right way and do it the easiest way possible. So make sure you guys give the folks at Rec Lending a call. Tell them the Serious Angler guy sent you. And the buzz for this episode around the industry right now is quite simple. We're going to leave it at this because there's not been too much buzz around the industry as of right now beyond a couple more tournaments kicking off here, opens, is this whole tariff thing. There's a lot of information being thrown out there for you as the consumer, somebody that is trying to study the industry, afford tackle, things like that. It's pretty up in the air, a little gray right now on what things are looking like, but we might start seeing a couple things that, and we'll get into this even deeper on a upcoming show, especially when we got the full crew here. Obviously, it's only me today. Unfortunately, the guys are busy. Andy is still in Florida. We're recording this stuff kind of together, and Deacon's still traveling for work. But the tariff stuff, you can see a couple things. One is more things are going to be becoming made in the United States, which is great. We love to see that happen. Whether it's rods, reels, baits, things like that might be manufactured in the United States, which can create more jobs, which is great. But with that, you might start seeing prices kind of go up across the board on that. And you might see it happening now, people preparing for it. Either way is, I would say, don't fret just yet. I think let's give this some time, but the fishing industry always finds a way. So it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen, what's going to be affected. But right now, I think if there's anything American made, they're going to win in this situation. I think it's a great time to be an American made product right now. Obviously we always want to support those if we can, but it's going to be interesting with the tariffs and stuff. And you'll see some Business from the Bass Boat shows, or I guess longer Business from the Bass Boat segments on these shows coming up here soon. But that is all for the Business from the Bass Boat segment on today's show. Wanted to keep it short, especially with trying to get over to Easton's Champions Roast here soon. But without further ado, we have one last thing for you guys. As always, we like to go and share the different sales from Omnia Fishing with you guys. And so right now, until the foreseeable future, is buy one, get one on P-Line fluorocarbon. So P-Line Tactical, a lot of great stuff there. Some new arrivals as well to Omnia Fishing. From the new Core Tackle Shimmy Rig, we got some new dice baits, the Three Brothers baits, some Cast Again baits as well that are added on there. And from that, also the new ballistic trays from Evolution Outdoors. I've been using those myself. Big fan of those. They got a new largemouth backpack, which is a great pond bag, co-angler bag. A bunch of new stuff on Omnia Fishing under the new arrivals. And if you're a Omnia Pro member, remember to always go down to the bottom and look under the Shop at Omnia section for the Pro sales page. The Pro sales page gives you sales that the average consumer that is not a Pro member gets access to. So make sure you guys check those out. But without further ado, let's get into today's episode for the Champions Roast, Mr. Easton Fothergill. All right, folks, and we are here as promised. The Champions Roast with the champ himself, Mr. Easton Fothergill. Dude, what's going on, man?
Not too much, man. Just life on the road. Just did some filming today. Now we're going to go see the girlfriend. So we're just bouncing all over the place like usual.
Have you had, I'm sure you've been asked several times, but have you had a second to breathe since the Classic?
I have not. That's the next couple days here. What day is today? I guess is today Wednesday?
Yeah, today's Wednesday. That's when you know you're busy.
Something like that. Well, from now until Easter, it will be my first time to kind of hang out and relax. So I'm really looking forward to it. So
yeah, I bet you're looking forward to turning off the phone and just not even looking at it for a couple days. Cause I'm sure it's been off the hook.
yeah, it has been. It's been buzzing nonstop. It seems like, and just had to get a new one, unfortunately. So, but yeah, no, I'm definitely looking forward to logging off for a little bit.
Well, first off, I know you've been showered with it, but I'd be remiss if we did not say congratulations formally on this show, becoming the Classic champ. It was awesome to see, and you know your buddies that will be joining us here shortly. We were texting nonstop behind the scenes during the Classic, rooting for you. So it was cool to see it all to come to fruition and see all that go down. And dude, I'm excited for tonight because I think we're gonna obviously there's gonna be some fishing talk, but there's I think people are excited for it. I think this is gonna be completely different, more of a not so serious angler, if you will, because it's gonna be a good time. But first, you mentioned the phone thing, dude. You mentioned it on social and in text back to me the other day. What the heck happened? How'd you dump the phone?
Well, I put it in this. I wear Sims bibs, and they got the little hand pockets right here. I've always kept my phone in there for as long as I can remember, like since high school. And yeah, I was not looking back on the clip. You could see my phone kind of hanging over a little bit, and I hooked a pretty good one and walked him to the cockpit, the passenger side, and yeah, I leaned over, scooped him up, and initially when something fell out of my pocket, and I was like, "Oh dang, lost my Raptor switch, like my little fob for the Raptors." And I get up and I kind of feel my pocket a little bit and realized pretty quickly it was my phone. It wasn't the Raptor thing, and yeah, I didn't like. Obviously, I was ecstatic. I caught a big one in the tournament, but yeah, I realized I lost my phone. So you could see it in the clip. It's kind of funny. I didn't know how to feel at the time, so it's kind of funny looking back. But yeah.
Will we see this clip air to social media anytime soon?
Yeah, I should probably post it because it's pretty funny looking at my reaction after. So yeah, I can definitely make that happen.
Yeah, I would. I think myself and many others tuning into this would thoroughly enjoy watching that clip.
Yeah, yeah, we'll post it tomorrow. We'll make that happen.
Perfect. Love it. We're making it happen. Well, yeah, by the time this show airs, it'll be up. So if you guys, for whatever reason, aren't following Easton, make sure you guys do that. Go check out that clip if you haven't seen it already. But man, I think now that it's been a couple weeks, obviously hot off another top 10, that seemed like a pretty cool freaking place to go fish, the Pascatank. But if there's been any reflection done, what's the first thing of the event that plays back in your head, you know, when you think about the Classic?
I mean, obviously that 8 pounder at the end jumps to mind. Just how meant to be, I guess that was, because obviously I was using forward facing sonar. I saw a fish, knew it was the caliber I needed to possibly put the tournament away, and just the way that fish acted, it was not interested in my bait whatsoever. And all of a sudden, it just ignited on my bait. It actually came up to my bait, denied me, and it started swimming away. And when that happens, normally I'm already reeling in and making another cast to present it again. And for whatever reason, I left my bait in the water there and just kind of sitting there. And the fish was swimming away. and all of a sudden it turns and just ignites on my bait. It went from completely negative to just, it just ignited on my bait. It just came up and hammered it. And, that's just something that never happens, especially since I didn't do anything special with my worm, nothing. And just for all that to happen, and yeah, for the timing of that fish and just everything with that fish was just so meant to be. And yeah, and with that, the Kings of Bass guys with Striking, they got to document literally everything with the whole event from start to finish. And the event's actually going to go live tomorrow
Oh,
on
heck yeah.
YouTube, the Kings of Bass YouTube channel. So I cannot wait for that to come out. And they did a great job of capturing all the emotions and that sort of thing. So yeah, I mean, just everything about that event was super cool and just something I'll never forget.
Dude, they do a really good job, that Kings of Bass stuff. That's actually one of my favorite things that's on YouTube. And I wrote that down. What I'll do for the folks tuning in is I'll by the time this show airs, that'll be up, and I'll link that down below so people can go and check that out and give that a watch.
Cool.
Oh, we already have one of our guys we'll bring in here in a little bit. We're gonna keep the suspense for you, but he's giving a thumbs down if that gives you any clue. So we'll get to that here in a second. But man, kind of in line with that, was there something, whether on the water, off the water, that maybe kind of flew under the radar that people didn't see that was pretty special to you?
It's in the episode that's about to come out, but they got a bunch of clips of my dad like sitting on the fence, like just watching me on stage and that sort of thing. And it jumps to him a couple times, like the winning moment, just like what his emotions are, and that's super cool for me. Just being able to see like how proud he looks and that sort of thing. Definitely, that's super meaningful to me. Just seeing him and how proud he is to, just to watch my journey, I guess. And yeah, that's been probably one of the most meaningful things for me.
That's pretty cool, man. I guess, and with that, like a lot of obviously reflection, I'm sure, on his case and your case, obviously looking back on things. Was there like, now that you're a freaking classic champ, your name's going to be on one of the banners for, the expos here going forward. And, you know, is there any moment like since that event, like you thought back to like the childhood of like how far you've come type of deal?
Yeah, I mean, looking back, yeah, I mean, it's just crazy how far everything's progressed for me and how fast. Like 5 years ago, I was graduating high school, and now I won the class, and I won the elites, and just, I mean, it's insane how fast everything progressed. And yeah, I mean, you go not long before that, and I was fishing out of a 10-foot Pelican plastic john boat with a trolling motor on it, and just fishing every day. I can still remember charging the battery every night while I went down to the lake, putting it in the boat, and just every day I was out in that little 10-foot boat. And yeah, I mean, just from there on, just slowly progressing, learning more every day, and just yeah, how fast everything came to fruition has been pretty insane.
That's awesome, dude. Well, I think to start off some of the shenanigans, I can't reveal my source yet, but I do have a little funny reflection for you that was sent to me. I asked that question as a perfect little segue. Let me share my screen here. You've been thinking about the classic ever since this day. So we got a handful of these coming, buddy. Don't you worry. For the folks that are listening in, we got some gold pictures of Easton that we'll be sharing up on here. But back then it was like it sounded like it was more baseball than bassing, eh?
Oh yeah, I was heavy into baseball for a while. Yeah, loved baseball, loved basketball, and still do.
Well, that's awesome. We're gonna dive into a bunch of it, dude. I want to preface this before we bring on the first couple goons here to come and join the show. I want to let you know you're gonna have a chance to rebuttal if you'd like. Okay, this is not all an attack Easton show. You're gonna have a chance to fire back if you'd like. That's how usually these roasts
All
go.
right.
But I think I'm gonna bring them in. Are you ready for it, Easton? Nope. Did we lose you?
Are you there? I lost you for a sec. Yeah, I got you now.
All right, perfect. I'll bring them in one by one here. Let me change this layout. All right, first off, big stranger. He's been fishing too much too. But we'll start him off here. Mr. Nick Dumpke is here to join the show. Hot off of a tournament heater. Nick, what's going on, dude?
What's going on?
We also got Mr. Kobe Koenig. What's going on, Cobes?
Is that Easton's partner in the bottom left? Easton's net man.
And lastly, we got Mr. Ben Anderson. So we got the three goons here for you, Easton.
What's going on, fellas?
Were you expecting this at all, Easton?
What's up, bro? Yeah, I was expecting Nick. I was expecting the other two. This caught me off guard.
Couldn't even pull
it's perfect.
over.
We've seen some. I've been shared some perfect shots from back in your guys' heyday together, and we're gonna get into a bunch of that. But I think who's known Easton the longest? Kobe. It's got to be you, right?
Nick.
Oh, Nick. Oh, really? Oh,
yeah. Yeah. I met, I guess, a little bit of backstory. I probably met Easton in like 7th grade, maybe. We didn't really get to cross paths all that much. I was into hockey. He was more on the basketball side of things. And so we really didn't get to know each other all that well until probably 9th grade is when Easton and his dad and a couple other guys from our area started our high school fishing team. Minnesota wasn't really known for its high school fishing until, I don't know, what year was that? 2017 maybe? 2016, 2017 is when it kind of started taking off, and Easton's dad were big advocates of it in our area. And I was lucky enough to join and meet a bunch of these guys. All three of these guys that you see on your screens, I met through high school fish in Minnesota.
Heck yeah, dude. Because you and Ben were college roommates, correct?
We actually met through high school fishing in Minnesota. We had just known each other, just fishing against each other, and then we both went to college at Bemidji State, and we were roommates. But he's from southern Minnesota, and then me, Nick, and Easton are all from the same town in northern Minnesota.
Dang, all full circle. I love this. Well, we can throw in some story times throughout this, but this is the champions roast, and so I think Nick, we gotta start off with you, man. What do you got for Easton? Kick us off.
I've been thinking real hard, trying to think of some good stuff, and it's kind of hard, when you only say like 20 words a day, it's a little difficult to come up with some good stuff. But that's what I was like. I told Bailey before this, I was like, Easton's literally a robot. I don't have anything on. Yeah, it's a little tough. Plus, like, our whole lives, like, has just been fishing. So there's no, like, stories of just doing dumb stuff. Like, I'm sure there is, but, like, there's nothing really besides just, like, fishing. That's just, like, all, like, I was going through my Snapchat memories, like, trying to just think of something. And it's, like, more fishing videos. And that's just all it is. But I'm sure these guys got something, too.
Well, yeah, it sounds like you and Easton like to share a cuddle or two, but we'll get to that later.
We've been known to, he likes Big Spoon for sure, but.
Kobe, do you want to take it from there?
If you want. Do you have the video to pull up, Bailey?
Yeah, I can hear, actually. I'll airdrop it to the computer. I'll see if it can actually play on here. I don't want to distract Easton while he's driving, but this one's pretty good. But Ben, when did you meet Easton along the line?
I had to have met Easton. It had to be somewhere around 2016, 2017, probably early on in high school when we first started kind of competing against each other and our paths crossed in high school fishing. I don't think I was looking back, and I think the first time I ever shared the boat with Easton was in 2019. A bunch of us in northern Minnesota kind of all stayed together at Easton's house and fished a little tournament up there. I think that was the first time I ever shared a boat with him. But somewhere in that early high school range in high school fishing was when I first crossed paths with him.
Heck yeah. Well, I remember it was last year's classic when we were you were talking about going down regardless if you could get off work or not to go see Easton compete. So
yeah, that was Exactly, and I ended up hopping in the truck with Kobe and one of his other coworkers to slide down there and be able to see him fish his first classic. So it's pretty cool to see.
Not every
Yeah, now he's
day
already
that a
won the
person
damn thing,
from-
so now it's
Yeah.
like, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, perfect. Let's see. I got the video right here. We'll see if we can get it up. You guys can see it.
I don't know if Easton even remembers this.
Let's see. If we...
Oh, I remember this.
Listen, it was perfect right there.
Yeah, so I guess historically, Easton is known to break down in every single tournament that he's ever fished growing up. It didn't matter the boat or the motor, he found a way to break down at some point or another. That was actually, I believe that was the 2018 high school national championship on Kentucky Lake. They broke down on the north end and we had to haul their butts all the way back to Paris. They decided to spoon each other on the front deck, going about 60 miles an hour down the lake.
We had to console each other after catching one bass both days of the derb.
Yeah, that was tough times. Nick and I were in that hard time together.
Yeah, Kentucky was a little bit different back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, no joke. You said anything to try to defend yourself here with some of the claims so far.
I mean, yeah, it probably tells a little boy. Yeah. Needed a buddy to kind of lift me up there.
I didn't catch any. Did you guys catch any of that?
Bits
No, I heard about 3 words.
Yeah. Try that again, Easton.
Oh yeah, I mean, I guess I said we were just struggling a little bit there. I needed my buddy to kind of lift me up.
Need a quick cuddle. Cuddle and get back to fishing. I love it.
It
Ben,
was
you got
it was
anything on your
literally
end?
Yeah, go ahead, Ben.
The only one that I have that kind of dawned on me after the classic. So Kobe and I went to college up in Bemidji, and we're actually a year older than Easton and Nick, and we were there our freshman year. And as it went, we were trying to convince Nick and Easton to come to school there to Bemidji State, and it's just a little school in northern Minnesota. They have a bass team, but it's very local. There's not really any school funding or anything. But it just kind of dawned on me how Kobe and I trying to convince Easton and Nick to come there. If they would have went there, like how much
Worst
this story
decision
could
of
have
their
been
life.
different. Yeah, how much this story could have been different. And that probably never would have been at the Classic, never would have had all the success he had. So it was a very good decision to not attend.
Yeah,
Bemidji
sorry
State
about that.
University. Yeah, that one is on us. We'll take the blame for that one.
Are you trying to say that you're the you would have been this anchor and kept him down?
We would have fully derailed all the plans before they ever happened.
Yeah.
Did you have anything else there, Kobe?
No, Ben summed it up pretty well. Yeah, we would have totally ruined his entire career.
Everybody.
Pretty good. Well, while you guys think of something else to throw out here, you mentioned earlier that Easton was a robot, and it seems like he talks pretty well to some people, maybe 20 words a day to people, but it sounds like he talks to his electronics fairly well, because we have this shot sent over to us as well back in the heyday down in the electronics.
That's so good.
Damn
In the
live
Ranger.
skippers.
In the Ranger.
I don't think there's scope on that one. But.
There's no scope there.
No scope at all. Do you have an idea yet, Easton, of who might have been sharing these photos over?
I don't know yet. I'm gonna need some more.
If you like more, I have a bunch here actually. Let's see. These were some gold that were sent over to us, and hopefully they'll be joining the show here shortly. Let's see, we got this one. I love the style. I think Kobe will appreciate the hat he's wearing here.
Yep. Back when he was loyal.
Wow. Wow.
Some
that on
gold in
hail?
here. Say what?
Was that on hail?
I'm not the one to ask you that. I don't know.
That's a little bit.
That's little bass.
Yep.
I don't think you were throwing the dice back then. Oh, we lost him. We brought up dice
I
and he
don't think
left.
so.
Yeah, he's out. Didn't want to give anything up.
Yeah, he said it's dice talk. We can't talk about that. Well, what about you guys? So from being behind the scenes, Nick, watching the classic go down, seeing, especially off to a hot start on day one, like I know it was trickling in each of your guys' minds, especially when seeing him on Bass Track. We're like, oh shit. Like this could happen. It's only day one, but like what was going through your head watching your pal lighten him up day one at the Bassmaster Classic?
Yeah, it was pretty absurd. Yeah, once day one happened, and then it was, I think he caught like a second or third one on day two. And Kobe had actually called me and was like, dude, are you going? And I was like, yeah,
Well, you give a
I
little
gotta go.
backstory. Yeah, you weren't gonna come because you had a tournament. You had to get to Kentucky like the next day. Like by
Yeah.
Monday, he needed to be on Kentucky.
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't plan on going, and then day one happened, and I'm like, damn, I wish I was there. And then day two, it was like his third big one. I was like, all right, I'm going. And I was with my girlfriend, and I was like, you want to go to Texas? So we packed up our bags and started driving. And it was pretty absurd. Yeah, watching Bass Track on day three, you're talking, Bailey, when guy was struggling.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That was when I was a little bit. I mean, knowing him, I mean, we've had plenty of derbs in the past where it was like, if there's anybody who's pretty level-headed or the most level-headed out there, it's him. So it's kind of like, it'll happen, and I know everyone is kind of freaking out and stuff, but it felt like it was going to happen, and then it did. It was pretty crazy to watch, and it was super special to be there. It was a cool deal.
Did you feel at all maybe you might have been the jinx on day three when he wasn't catching them?
Yeah, I was about to drive back to Montevallo.
Kobe, what about you, man? What was going through your head?
Yeah, I mean, to build off of what Nick said, I expected it day one just because, I mean, Easton is who he is. Like, he's always going to show up and catch him. So, like, I didn't really think anything of it day one. I was like, oh, yeah, that's cool, whatever. He caught him again. And then day two, he obviously started putting his bag together. And that's when I was like, oh, my God, like, it could actually happen. And that's when I called Nick. I was like, dude, you got to get on the road. Like drop everything and hit the road. Like this can only, I mean, we were joking. We were like, this is a once in a lifetime moment for most people. Easton will probably win multiple knowing him, but like this, they just don't come around that often. And so, I called him. I was like, you need to get here of all people. Like Nick deserves to see this through. And so, just talking with him and a bunch of our guys, that we have a pretty close group of guys from Minnesota that all stay in touch and follow Easton pretty closely, and it was super cool going back and forth with all those guys, and then we were freaking out a little bit coming down to the wire on day three, and I shut off live along with probably half of the world watching before that last fish catch, and so I shut it down like I don't know, probably a minute before what happened, and all of a sudden my phone blew up. I got like 7 calls in about 15 seconds. And then I obviously, like, everybody was just freaking out. Like Nick and I were calling, like screaming at each other, along with a whole bunch of other guys. It was a surreal moment. And then watching the aftermath of what happened, I've told everybody, like, it was a top 5 like coolest moment I've ever had in my entire life, watching him live out a dream.
Heck yeah. Well, Ben, we'll pitch the same thing over to you. What was going through your head throughout the event too? Because obviously you had to be there for work, so you got to see most of it at least go down on live.
Yeah, thankfully I was there for work, so I was there throughout the duration. And I mean, I've known Easton the least amount of time of all these guys, but I mean, it's still just cool seeing what he's like, basically fishing against him in high school and following his whole college career. But I mean, throughout the tournament, the first couple of days, like they said, where I mean, he had a 8-something lead going to the last day, and the last day was extremely nerve-wracking. I'm sure, like everyone, we were all watching Bass Track, watching live, waiting for it to happen, and to see it finally happen and kind of know that the door was shut, that it was pretty cool to see. And like Kobe said, actually being there and watching the weigh-in, it was special to see just someone from Minnesota. I think he's the first from Minnesota to win it, and it's just cool for the state and the whole community here. So,
And I've never seen that kind of emotion out of Easton ever. And Nick can attest to that. I've never seen anything like that. It was an out of body experience for him.
Yeah, it was actually just like last week, someone was giving me a hard time again. I mean, we've heard a whole bunch, but someone had brought up at Toho. I think Easton posted the clip. It was the MLF National Championship, and we had caught a 6.5 and a 7 back to back. And all I think that happened was a slap on the back, and someone was like, "Do you guys like not get excited ever?" I was like, "I don't know. It's just kind of the way it's always been. I don't know. Can't really. It's hard to explain, but yeah."
And then he's jumping like a schoolgirl before he even gets it in the boat.
That's funny. So, Easton, I think you'd mentioned something about seeing Nick in the stands or something like that when you'd won. You able to hit on that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, when Hamner handed the trophy off to me and I'm walking to the center of the stage, Nick was the first person in the stands I made eye contact with. It's a super cool moment because, obviously the bracket tournament, I was competing against Nick, and that's the tournament that gave me the opportunity, but I don't get to that opportunity without winning Team of the Year with Nick. And obviously Nick played crucial. Obviously all through college together. All the highs and the lows together. And yeah, I mean, without Nick, I don't win Team of the Year, and I don't get to the bracket. I don't win the bracket. It doesn't so it's a huge part of that situation. So I mean, it's super cool making eye contact with him and just kind of shared that moment together before I hosted the trophy. It was.
I think we got most of that. Where are you driving through right now, Easton? Oh boy.
I have no clue where I'm at.
Well, this might be perfect, fellas, because it's the champion's roast, so we can roast him without any of him defending himself because we can't hear him. So it's perfect. So one of the things that we were texting back and forth, Nick, was I was asking you before we went, before you'd gone to the champion's toast after the event. And I was like, so do you think he's going to party? You're like, what is he going to do? Because most guys, they win the classic and they have their fair share of beers and, celebrate. But I'm trying to remember what you said in reply. You're like, I really don't know what he's going to do. Because you guys just thought that was the most emotion you'd seen out of him when he won. But walk through that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of what I figured. I mean, kind of growing up, that was always kind of the way we were. It was like, and I mean, I remember like we were all the same way. It was just like fishing was just everything. And that was just what our weekends were rather than, sleeping in till 1 on Saturdays. We wanted to be fishing a derb or going fishing. So that was always just kind of the way it was and just kind of what we know. But I definitely thought it would be a little more than a simple trip to In-N-Out at 1 in the morning and then going to bed. But hey, I mean, I totally get it.
We went out and partied for him, and I texted Nick. I was like, "Where are you guys? Where are you?" And he's like, "I had to go get Easton some food. He had 3 grapes all day today."
Easton, did you have at least one alcoholic beverage in celebration, or did you go straight to bed?
I did not have a single alcoholic beverage.
This guy, damn, making us all look bad. Well, I'm sure Ben compensated for your amount of drinks into his total.
Yeah, we had a few. We had a few in celebration.
Oh, that's too good. That's good. What was it's like looking at this event, like I asked this to Easton, but like I think it was either Nick or Kobe. One of you guys had sent a picture of the three of you, when you guys were kids with just like holding some giants back in Minnesota. Like, did you guys kind of have any of that childhood reflection moments, like watching your pal on the freaking classic stage about to win the whole damn thing?
100%. Yeah. I mean, I can remember like even back like when we like living together like freshman year of college and then just like sitting around the winter time back in high school and stuff. I can remember just like watching Bassmaster like old videos and stuff and watching classic clips. And yeah, definitely that like Kobe posted that picture and that definitely brought back some good memories and kind of brought things full circle. Just kind of like, holy cow, we were way back in the way up the Mississippi River. What was that, 8 years ago? More than that, even.
Something, yeah, I don't know, 9 years ago. Yeah.
Tiny little kids flipping a jig around, and to see where we're at now, it was a cool full circle moment for sure.
Kobe, was there anything that stood out to you?
Yeah, just like a flood of emotions to watch somebody that you're close with kind of live out the dream that, I mean, all of us on the screen at one point or another, like, have thought, like, or have dreamt of that moment, right? So it was cool to see somebody that you're friends with kind of make that dream a reality. Yeah, and that picture that I posted after he won, kind of that picture in itself kind of stuck out to me, and that's why I posted it. It was just like everything that's happened since, not just that day, but has happened for Easton over the last 2 years. It's obviously a book should be written about it. It's an incredible story that he has, and everything is lined up for him to make it, and I'm just extremely proud of him and proud to call him a friend.
See, it's supposed to be a champion's roast, not be all nice and sappy.
But he doesn't have. I
Getting a
don't
little
have
sappy
anything
here.
to roast him with.
So back in that day, like when you guys are out there running the boat, the three of you, who was leading? Like who was on the trolling motor the whole time? Was there like a bumping shoulders of who could?
Yeah, I was in my own boat. It was 2v1.
Oh, that's not fair.
They got
All right,
the
what
lake
you,
and I
Nick,
got
is
the
it?
river.
Yeah. Was it always Easton running the trolling motor, or are you guys playing bumper boats, hockey checking each other to fight over the trolling motor?
Talking to me.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it was always kind of just like whoever's boat we were in. I mean, most of the time we were in Easton's boat, so most of the time he was the one running the trolling motor. But we never had like a hey, get off the sticks kind of thing where it was like I'm trying to get on there. It was just kind of like if he'd go catch one, then I'm gonna jump on the trolling motor for a couple minutes and then kind of just switch off, get back to our thing. Where when he'd get his rhythm going, I'd just kind of sit back and catch whatever I can and. That was just kind of the way it always worked. We never had any like disputes or anything about it. It was always just kind of like, well, I mean, to be honest, we almost had like an unspoken kind of thing where it was like we never even were like, hey, let's move spots. It was just like pick up the trolling motor, we just move, like set rods up, and just like we never really talked about things. It was just kind of like happened, I would say.
God damn, you guys are robotic, both of you.
Can
Though.
I would like when they went to college, I would ask Nick like, hey, what's Easton up to? And be like, I don't know. Don't you guys fish together every single day? It's like, yeah, but we don't talk. For 12 hours, they just wouldn't speak.
It's all just through the ears. What do they call that? Telepathy or something like that?
And it wasn't like we were pissed off at each other. It was just like
their brains are wired together.
Yeah, these guys don't like each other. They just fish together.
Yeah.
They fish damn well together.
Yeah. Well, Easton, do you got anything to fire back on these boys?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I guess where I cut out, I guess I was just saying that moment on stage. Did I cut out again?
No, you're good. You're good for right now.
Yeah, that moment on stage was when Nick and I made eye contact. I was just explaining how I wouldn't get to the moment I'm at without Nick, and going all through the highs and lows of high school and college. Uh, before the bracket tournament, Nick and I won Team of the Year, which is what got me to that tournament. And obviously, Nick had a crucial role in that. And yeah, I mean, making eye contact there, I think I was able to show my appreciation to him, I guess, in a way. So that was a super cool moment for me before I hosted the trophy, that I kind of made eye contact with Nick and kind of shared that.
So who's Big Spoon? You or Nick?
We take turns.
Whoever's catching him that derp is Big Spoon. Oh, that's pretty good. Easton, if you had a drink of choice, what would it be? If you even do consume. Yep, did we lose him again?
I'm gonna do Sprite vodka.
Boys, can we confirm this? Is he speaking facts here, or has he? You never witnessed him drink a sip of alcohol in his life?
I don't think I've ever drank with him.
I don't know if I have either.
I can confirm the few times, but
Yeah, robots can't drink alcohol, so I guess it makes sense.
Exactly.
Oh man, that is
Trying to think
incredible.
what else I had to cover.
Yeah, we got a few more minutes here, and then I'm trying to get our next guest in here to join us. But sounds like they might also be on the road. But anything else that will be, like whether forgetting to put the plug in, something like that, stories that we got for Easton before we start wrapping.
No, robots don't make mistakes.
Robots don't make mistakes. He's hardwired. He's good.
I told Ben, I said I wanted to bring up the fact that Nick and Easton got kicked out of our local tournament series.
Say what?
yeah, right.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Wait, for real? Because of a pro label or what?
Yeah, but not even. It was. I don't even know how to explain it. They were just cherry picking events, essentially, just coming in, winning every single tournament. So the tournament director doesn't let them fish anymore.
Just because winning too many derps or what?
Pretty much.
I take it, Easton, you're not a fan of this decision?
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, my schedule now, there's only a couple around the house I can fish, so the couple I can fish, I'd like to, I guess.
They still let Ben and I fish, though, if that says anything.
Yeah. That explains a lot.
That's why you guys went to Bemidji, right?
Exactly.
And why we're not classic winners. Yep.
Yeah, I never heard of Minnesota making that. I mean, I've heard states of like Tennessee and Bama and stuff not allowing, guys of a certain skill level fish, but that's pretty nuts. Have you been hanging out with Cooper Gallant, Easton? Is that a monster you're drinking?
No, that's a rain.
Right. Oh, man.
I'm a big rain guy as of late.
How much they paying you?
Yeah, have people been knocking on your door since the classic, Easton?
I mean, a couple, but I guess not as much as you would think. But I haven't really entertained anything, I guess, since I'll wait till later this year for that. But
If you had a non-fishing brand, like we saw Hamner connect with Milo's after his dub for the classic. If you had a non-fishing brand, like a dream brand to work with, who would it be? Actually, before you answer that, Nick, Kobe, and Ben, I'm going to ask you, what do you guys think it would be from your guys' perspective? What do you think you would align well
I already
with?
know the answer.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know what it would be too.
All right, Kobe, do you know?
God, I don't have one that comes to mind.
All right, we'll let it rip. Easton, what would it be?
He said Chick-fil-A. It cut out and
Chick-fil-A?
I didn't
I
hear
said
him, but I know
Chick-fil-A. I
that's
consume an unhealthy amount.
So that's what this robot is run on. Benny, you figure Chick-fil-A too?
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
You gotta start hanging out with Rob G then. He can get you hooked up. I might be losing him here.
I need to, I guess.
Awesome. Fellas, we got anything else for Mr. Easton Fothergill before we let you go? No? All right, well, we'll have to accumulate more embarrassing stories on the robot here for a round 2.
Yeah, sorry, Bailey. Told you it was going to be bad.
It's all good, dude. It's more impressive, honestly, when you can't find anything on a guy from some of his closest friends. That's more impressive than anything else.
Right?
That's a fair point.
All right. Well, fellas, I appreciate each of your time. Looking forward to chatting with each of you here soon. And thanks for joining the Champions Roast.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having us, Bailey.
Thanks, Bailey.
Yeah, thanks for having.
See you,
Bye,
fellas.
guys. Bye, Easton's partner.
Easton, were you expecting those three to kick things off?
I was expecting Nick, but I wasn't expecting Kobe and Ben. That was pretty cool.
It's a great way to start off. We got 2 people left for here, and it's perfect timing that he just joined in here. But are you ready for the next round of folks to join here?
I'm ready.
All right. Well, my source of all those images we had earlier is about to join here, and so we well, here we go. We got your pops to join us.
Hey guys.
Thank you for joining us, man. It's awesome. It's a pleasure.
My pleasure. I feel like I missed some good stuff.
Yeah, we try to get as much dirt out of the boys on Easton as we could, but we figured we'll go straight to the source of what you had on them. But those pictures were absolutely gold that you had of Easton.
Sweet. I'm happy to be able to help. No, that first one of Little E, that's a good one.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that was one of the first ones we showed. But from your perspective, we walk through the classic with Easton. I'm sure, and like he said, he's been bombarded on calls and things like that. And it sounds like the Kings of Bass has some really cool stuff from your point of view, watching him win. But I guess going direct to you, watching your kid win the freaking Bassmaster Classic. What was that like from your perspective?
Pretty amazing. Obviously I got to see the start of it all and get to see right up to the top of the mountain, so to say. But no, it was amazing. I'm proud of him. Proud of how he's handling it. Proud of how he's handled his whole career, actually. Quite impressive. So yeah, I'm super proud of him.
Yeah, we were telling the guys that it's more impressive when you can't find a funny story about somebody than if you could find a bunch. Because I think that says a lot if you're that routine and have that good of a procedure, if you will. But Pops, do you have anything fun? Any funny stories of some slip ups or anything of Easton growing up?
It's funny you say that. Looking back, I was trying to think of some like real funny things that's happened, like outrageously funny that we could share. I really don't have any. I think of all the looking back, they were fun times now, but we had a period of time where we had lots of motor troubles. We were losing lower units, or just things were happening all the time, and Easton and Nick would get so frustrated, as well as I. But looking back, kind of funny. At the time it certainly wasn't, but there's really, maybe Easton disagrees, but I can't think of any like hilarious things that happened out there. Some of the things I would laugh is if Easton would be behind a tournament or something, struggling, they'd put the rally caps on, and I was really looking for some pictures of that, because as a boat captain I'd take pictures of some of this stuff. So I got pictures of them in the front of the boat with their hats upside down backwards, and they're fishing right down to the last minute trying to make a rally, and just fun stuff like that. A lot of the good years are behind, it feels like, but there's maybe the best years are yet to come. It's been super fun as a dad getting to watch this all go down and be part of it. I was Nick and Easton's boat captain for many years there, and got to sit and watch it all this develop. So it's been really fun.
That's awesome. And so one of the things that Easton's been known to make a little bit more popular and has found some success on is throwing these little dice baits. And obviously that's a big change since I'm sure when you're boat captaining them and some of the things they're throwing then. What's your take on all the little nuanced, tiny little bait trends that are happening that Easton seems to be on top of?
That all boils down to, tricking Clearwater smallmouth is, you're into that as well, but, it just goes to show you the willingness and try to figure out some of these fish. You can go small and finesse, or you can go big or fast, or, do different things. And that just shows his creativity and doing what it takes to get it, but, play those percentages and get a few more here and a few more there. But no, it doesn't surprise me. He's always been into tackle and tinkering. I was as well, but in my years, there wasn't as much stuff, The first super finessey thing to come along that was earth-shattering was the hair jig. We've been doing that many, many years before it was even about, and rode that for a long time. And, that was finesse. Now there's many other things as that's kind of faded away, but it's not poison like it used to be, so.
Easton, have you gotten your dad on the throwing the dice and all that stuff?
Oh yeah, I have. He's been making his own now at home ever since I started getting on that, probably almost 2 summers ago now. So yeah, he's definitely, I think he's got confidence in it now just like I do. So I've definitely gotten him on the dice train a little bit.
That's awesome. Not many people can say that. I got my dad throwing the dice bait. That's pretty cool. You got anything? And obviously, Pop's teasing you a little bit, but do you got anything to any funny stories of when you were out with Pops growing up?
Actually, I just thought of one. Actually, I just thought of 2 stories I can share. I'll try to share them quick.
Perfect.
So Easton, many years ago, I had a 620 Tiller Ranger, and if you're familiar with that boat, you can walk basically around the whole side of the boat. Easton was, I don't know, I'm guessing 4 years old. It was a time when he wasn't doing a lot of fishing, but he'd spend a lot of time in the boat with me. But anyway, it was a kind of a chilly fall day, and he's standing on the side of the boat, and we had a black lab, and the lab went running down the side of the boat and knocked him right in. And he went splashing into the water, and I grabbed him as quick as I could and threw him in the boat. And, our trip was over, but it didn't even bother him. He just kind of shrugged it off, and I'm sure he would have stayed out if we could. Then there was Easton might remember this one. This is more something that he had to witness rather than actually him doing it. But it was another case. We're out fishing in the fall, and we were fishing smallmouth. And I had a rod laying on the back of the boat, and I don't know if I was rigging up another rod or what, doing something for him. But all of a sudden I heard this clank, 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 and here a smallmouth had grabbed my bait and was pulling the rod in, and the rod went in the water before I could get to it. And Easton, keep in mind, he's just a little feller, but without even hesitating, I went head first in the lake and swam down as this rod is sinking and grabbed the rod. And, within a few minutes, seconds, I guess, I come back up to the surface holding this rod, and I'm like, Easton, grab my rod. And he grabs the rod and was able to reel in this 3-pound smallmouth with this look of like, I can't even describe the look. He was like scared to death. Like, what just happened? My dad just jumped in the lake, and I don't know. Do you remember that, Easton?
Yeah, I remember that.
That's awesome. So my last thing for you, and we'll let you go here, Mr. Fothergill, is we were teasing Easton about the Champions Toast, where you kind of get to celebrate in the wind and things like that, and how most guys go out and have some beverages and celebrate. And it sounds like Easton just didn't want some food and go back to bed. But what was the toast like from your perspective, watching people show up and show congratulations to him?
It was awesome. It was, just pure awesomeness, I guess. Seeing people get in line, go shake his hand and congratulate him, that was a super cool moment for all of us. But as a father watching that, and, on the side note there, I was getting lots of stories on the respect, that they have for Easton and all the good stories they've shared with me about him. So yeah, super proud moment for Dad. And yeah, obviously a moment I'll never forget.
Heck yeah. That's awesome. Well, we'll cap it here. And I guess with that, Easton, you got anything for Dad here before we let him go?
I don't think so. Call you later.
Call you later. Get some Chick-fil-A. Love it. Well, Mr. Fothergill, thank you so much for your time and popping down here. And especially thank you for some of the funny childhood pictures of Easton.
Not a problem. My pleasure. Have a nice evening, guys. We'll see you.
Take care. Bye. That's awesome. Were you expecting that at all? Were you expecting Pops to come on the show?
Not at all. I didn't know he knew how to get on me.
Yeah. Well, you can thank Nick for that, because Nick he made the connection, and that's how we got all the young Easton fishing photos of you. But we got one more guy. We got one more guy here, and I think he's the ringer. That's why he's coming in last here, and I don't know if you're prepared for it, but if you're ready, we'll bring him in, and that is Mr. Kyle Patrick.
God, you're ugly, Easton. Ew. Ew. Dude, look at you perched up in that car. I bet you're worried that you have dirt on your boat because you're so anal about your carpet being so clean. Oh, my carpet needs to be clean.
I just cleaned my boat, Kyle. It is spotless.
Oh, my God, dude. Next time I see that, I'm going to use PG language. Next time I see that boat, I am going to walk in a pile of dirt with a little bit of moisture in it, and then I'm going to get on your carpet and rub it in like I was rubbing in god dang suntan lotion on myself, okay?
You are ever in the mood to get tackled. That is the best way to make that happen.
What'd you say?
That if you're ever in the mood to get tackled and wrestle, that's the best way to make that happen.
Oh, shoot. I didn't hear him.
He said if you want to get tackled, that's the best way to make that happen. I like this. Easton's got a fight to him.
Yeah, he does. Well, it's because that's because he's comfortable with me now. But like, if he wasn't comfortable with me, I think he would be like totally like caught off guard. You know what I mean? What I will say is funny. I'll be on the phone, be like, and like just talking at him for like basically talking at him. And like, and then I'll like be like, so what do you think about that? And, we might be going over like, hey, like I found some grass or whatever, like after the day's over, right? Hey, I found some grass over in this cove. Like it was weird. I caught a few good ones. And then I went in shallow and, there was a bunch of empty beds with some males on it. And like, what do you think about that? And this is the response. Ready? So this is real time. Hey, Easton, so what do you think about that? I'm like, Easton, you there? And he's like, yeah,
Kyle
I'm here.
talks,
and I'm like,
hey, Kyle talks so much, but by the time,
hey, whoa, this is the roast of Easton, not Kyle. Shut your mouth.
Kyle talks so much that by the time he's done with his story, I'm already moved on and working on something else.
Easton, listen, buddy. You even admitted to me that your mom gets mad at you because you don't answer the phone because you can't. You're like me. Like when I'm talking to you on the phone,
I'm great at answering the phone. I just keeping my attention on the phone. That's where you lose me.
Yeah, and it's not just me, right? Is it just because you said your mom even said she'll be talking to you?
Oh no, it's not. It's not just you. I'm horrible on the phone. Horrible.
It's really bad, Bailey. And Bailey, it's bad, dude. Bad.
So you're both more similar than different, is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Maybe on the inside.
What's funny though, Bailey?
Go ahead, Kyle.
What's funny is like with the boat thing, I used to be like Easton. Like I used to like after every event, I would get out, I'd clean my boat, I'd reorganize my tackle, I'd go to the car wash, I'd make sure the carpet was clean. I would like take my rag and like fold it up. Because I guarantee you Easton does this. He takes his rag and folds it up so he can get in the crevice of the boat. So any of the dirt that's kind of like moved out from like a little notch in the boat, like he takes it and like rubs it so it's like nice and clean. But there's a certain point where like that just doesn't matter anymore. But apparently it does.
Kyle, I'm that way
still.
with everything. I'm that way with everything fishing. You've seen that. My tackle, my rods, everything. It's perfect.
It's perfect.
Yeah, I understand the tackle. Like I do get a little crazy with the tackle sometimes, but I understand the tackle because that's necessary for performance. But having a boat clean is not necessary for performance.
For me, it's necessary.
Okay. All right. You're weird.
So Easton, the OCD scale, what does it rank out of 10?
Oh God, it's a 15 out of 10.
In my head, it's about a 7.
Oh, no,
so it could get more.
It's a 7. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Hey, that's a good thing though.
That
That's
is
a
the
good
biggest understatement. It is a good thing. It is. But I am still gonna chirp you for it. It's definitely a good thing.
thing. Gotta be chirped. That's the champion's roast, right? It's so
Yeah,
Kyle,
yeah.
what was it like your first introduction to Easton? Like what was your first, I guess, takeaway and what your thoughts of when you first met him?
Congratulated him because I thought it was super cool what he did when he overcame with the college bracket win. And then whatever, like I don't even think we talked much after that. And then I think it was Easton was fishing the Grand Lake Classic, and he was like, he just wanted to like bounce ideas off someone. I think he asked Wesley because they fished in college together. You know, hey, is like Kyle a good dude? And Wesley was like, no, he's a total piece of shit. And then he was like, okay. No, he was like, he's a good dude or whatever. And then that's when I think Easton texted me, was like, hey, you like, bounce off each other like during the class. New here, I don't know, you know, we were chatting back and forth. And my first takeaway was this kid is incredibly quiet. I don't want to say shy because he's not shy, because shy is like a different word. It's definitely just like a Easton, like you're just quiet. You're quiet. You're not shy. So it was definitely a feeling of like, because he wouldn't call me up and ask me to like bounce ideas off me if he was shy. But he is quiet. That is a fact. But now, like we went to Chris Aldane's house, Easton and I was like, Easton, like come through, like they're great, like we could stay there and pre-practice for the classic. And that's when, like, I think we first, because we were like living in the same house, so it was like I could see he like opened up, like, you know, and
Yeah.
that was cool to see. But yeah, you're weird, Easton. That's okay. I am too, though.
That was
I'm
one of the
equally
first
as
things
weird,
said.
though, just in different ways.
Yeah, that's good though. Weird is fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's perfect.
Spice life up, you know.
Well, Easton, like I told you, we're gonna bring guys on to try it and do a little champions roast. But before we let Kyle go, do you got any? I told you get a chance to rebuttal. You got anything for Kyle here?
I think I did a
What do
fair
you mean? You
job
already
at standing
rebutted
my
like
ground.
10 times.
Yeah, I did a fair. I stood my ground.
I love it. Well, Kyle, thank you so much for taking time out, buddy. Always a pleasure. And keep up the great
Yeah,
work, man.
good seeing you.
All right, we'll see you, Kyle.
And later.
There you go. You've made it through. You've made it through the gauntlet. Did you think it was going to be worse than it was?
Not with Kyle, but I thought Kobe and Ben would be able to pull some more stuff up, to be honest.
A little disappointed in them boys, eh?
But to be fair, I don't think there really is much to dig up. I think they did what they could.
It's probably a nice thing, though, to know that nobody's got dirt on you besides the fact that you say 20 words a day. If that's the worst thing they got, I feel like you're kind of your resume is pretty clean.
I mean, it just, with all this, just made me sit back and think that literally my life is waking up, fishing. If I'm not fishing, I'm thinking about fishing, going to bed and repeat. That's literally what my life has entailed in the last, since high school, I guess. It's kind of, that's literally I guess that's what I'm 100% focused on. So I guess that's a big part of why there's no dirt on me.
Well, I think one, that's a testament, obviously, to why you're already, as with people talking about how young you are winning the classic. That's a big testament to why that has come to fruition. Because if you spent even a quarter less of that time, that might not have even happened. Where this is that's your training ground when you're on the water, thinking about it 100% of the time. And obviously, dude, I mean, hey, you should show this clip to your girlfriend to earn more brownie points. Is like, I think about fishing this much that I'm actually coming to hang out with you for a whole week, but I could be fishing. There you go, earn some brownie points.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
That's what I'm saying. Well, dude, I won't take up too much more of your time, but I just want to say congratulations. It was fun to plan this out, and honestly, man, I think we're gonna have to make this like a little ritual thing going forward for the classic, and maybe some Red Crest champs, for a little roast, and then we'll have to bring on the previous winners just to throw in a little bit of edge. So we'll be we'll be giving you
awesome.
a ring to come out the next champions roast, but.
Awesome. Well, yeah, it was super cool for you to plan all this out and make this happen. Yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, of course, buddy. Dude, keep up the great work. Pascatank River, other top 10. You guys are going next to Hartwell. How you feeling about the Hartwell event?
I'm excited. Hartwell's my favorite lake in the whole country, so hopefully we can make something happen. We'll see.
Well, you made up a lot of ground AOI points at the Pascatank, so if it sounds like with Hartwell, we'll be making up even more ground on AOI.
We'll see, man. These guys are so good. You just got your work cut out for you every single event. So we're just gonna go out there, work our hardest, and see what happens.
Yeah, and with you saying that, I'll leave you on this, man. What has been, now that you've got a few events under your belt, a classic, 2 classics at that, what has been your biggest takeaway, now having competed and been around the best of the best before having, come to the elites? Like what have you come to realize now, ever having to spend some time with some of these guys?
I guess looking up to these guys and idolizing them for so long, and now actually being able to talk to a lot of them face to face and have conversations. All the elites is 102 anglers that just love to bass fish, just dudes that love to fish. That's all it is. Like, growing up, you just look at them and like, wow, like they almost seem like unreachable and just like these big celebrities. At least to me, they did. And now just being able to talk to them they're just like me. There's dudes who love fishing and just love to be outdoors. So that's been a pretty cool thing for me to realize. And yeah, it's just super cool that, it's crazy to say, but I'm one of them now, and, I can conversate with them and make friendships with them. And that's been the coolest moment for me, is just realizing that, hey, these guys are all just dudes, man.
Just guys being dudes. I love that. Well, and dude, one thing to add on top of that, man, obviously you made a lot more fans, the classic, and more Easton Fothergill fans, but there's kids right now, I can guarantee you, that are in high school, that are in the college ranks, that are coming up, that are, 8 years old, 10 years old, whichever have you, that are looking at your win, watching you, and that are huge Easton Fothergill fans now, that you're going to be that inspiration for when that, the 2040 classic champ was like, I remember I came to my first classic when Easton Fothergill won it, and basically how you looked up to these guys, the kids are now looking up to you. So I feel like that's pretty humbling, man. Has that hit you yet? That's also in the position you're in?
Yeah, it's super humbling. At the Pascatank, that was the first championship day cut that I've made, and I stuck around after weigh-in to watch Kyle Welcher win. Obviously, that was super cool. But I'm along the fence there, watching Kyle weigh in, like kind of turn towards the weigh-in stage. And as soon as all that's done, I turn around and there's a line of like 50 kids wanting my autograph. And that was when it hit me, like, holy cow, like I'm actually like a figure for these kids, kind of. So I guess that was
awesome.
that was the first moment, and all the kids' parents were like, he watched you win the classic, blah blah, and I was just like how cool is this sort of thing? But yeah, it's really what I'm trying to do with my platform now is just really make it known to kids that it is possible, because that's where I come from. So
that's amazing, man. The positive impacts of fishing, and that's what we love to see. Love to hear that. Are we going to see some upticks in some media output for you now that you got the classic win in the belt? You got some change to throw around at some, whether it's a camera guy or something like that. Like, do you got some big plans in the works right now?
I don't have any plans yet. I mean,
We lost you. We're back. We're good here.
the cut there.
Yeah, we
I said,
cut out the whole thing.
Yeah, I said, the Kings of Bass thing is going to be huge for me with the media stuff. But I said also with that, might have to throw Dumpkey some change, make some cool stuff with him. I think that could be pretty cool.
That would be freaking sick. How long do you think Dumpkey's on the Elite Series with you? Like, how long do you think until he makes it there?
He's got the to do it, no doubt. He all he needs is to get the funding together, which he's working on right now. He's scrambling to make it happen, but once he gets the funding kind of behind him to make it happen, I don't think it'll be long, man. He's got the it factor for sure.
Love that. Well, it'd be safe to say if he can get there, if he can make the funds happen, I don't think there's a doubt that he can get there, and it'll be a scary duo. You guys back as traveling partners on the Elite Series, and hopefully we'll get some more dirt on both of you for another round.
That's the goal, man. Hopefully we can create some more dirt too.
That's right. That's right. Well, dude, thank you so much for taking the time out. Hell of a congrats again on the classic champ. And buddy will be talking to you real soon, and hopefully watching you get another top 10 at Hartwell.
Awesome. Well, thanks for organizing this again, man.
Yeah, of course. We'll talk to you real soon, Easton.
Sounds good. See you.
All right, see you. All right, folks, and that is going to do it for today's episode. Hope you guys enjoyed that little rendition of the Champions Roast. Wish the other guys like Andy and Deacon and them were here to have joined on this one, but I really hope that this turns into something for the future. I really hope that we can make this a thing ongoing. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Make sure you guys follow all the folks that were in on this show down below. This was a lot of fun to put together. And so hopefully you guys enjoyed it and learned a little bit more about Easton, a little bit more to his story of the champion. And if you did, please leave us a rating review on MP3. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Drop a comment down below. And as always, y'all, we appreciate you. We'll see you on the next one.